I feel like everyone keeps asking what happens if AI comes in and takes all of our jobs. But I think there's a deeper, more interesting question that we need to be asking ourselves, which is what does talent even mean anymore?
Right, because it used to be that being good at what your particular thing was the differentiator. Like, if you're a great writer, you'll get hired to do writing. If you're a great coder, you'd get hired to do coding. But now AI can produce really well in most of these areas, and it also does it, like, super quickly.
And I think this is happening all right now, especially for Gen Z entering the workforce. Like I'm Gen Z, you're on the older end of Gen Z, KD. Entry level job positionings are down 29% right now, year over year, because AI is all about doing these small tasks that entry level jobs usually were the ones in charge of in the past.
Yeah, it's, like, kind of a scary place to be if you're, like, a 22-year-old and maybe you just got out of college, or maybe you're even 18 or 20 and not sure if you even should go to college or what your career path is going to look like nowadays. Like, the entire traditional career paths that have been standard for so long have just completely compressed themselves.
Yeah, yeah. I think what's interesting too is I'm sure, I mean, I felt it myself in my own work, and I think a lot of people are feeling this, but Anthropic ran a study for with 52 software engineers, and they both did a single task. But then when they had this follow-up quiz survey, the people who used AI for the task scored 17% lower on this quiz because there's this whole thing where like we're doing the work, but we're not fully understanding it and internalizing what it is or just kind of the learnings around it.
That's really interesting because we've seen that in content creation too. People can seem to be an expert on almost any topic and post about it nowadays. But if you really try to nail down their understanding on these topics, sometimes it's not really there and they're kind of just faking it.
I've actually heard them call it like comprehension debt, which I think it's kind of an interesting idea. Like you're basically stealing from your future self in order just to get the task done today. Great in the short run, but in the long term, you kind of screw yourself in the future.
I love that idea, comprehension debt. And as we know, debt compounds, right? So then 6 months down the road, you're going to be even farther behind than you were before, all in the name of, getting it done or seeming to be an expert on your topic.
Yeah, for sure. And then lastly, I think this is so interesting too. I also saw this that there is this MIT Media Lab research using these actual like ECG scans of the brain. And when people are doing these like demanding tasks, but they use AI for it, the part of the brain that is usually like firing during these tasks literally just turns off if AI is doing it, which I feel like we can feel that when we're doing these tasks ourselves. But that's crazy. Like these things that used to keep our brain sharp and used to keep us going, just those tasks just turn off. And if we never do those tasks anymore, it's like, what does that mean?
Yeah, that's crazy. And I think we've all felt that a little bit. When you are given a really complex task, it's been harder to engage your brain and to get it focused in. Your brain just wants to offload it because that's kind of what you're training it to do. It's kind of a scary thing that we should definitely be aware of and be mindful of so that we can combat that.
Yeah, for sure. And I think Gen Z specifically, I mean, we've grown up in the digital era and we've grown up now, like entering the job force with AI is everything. And I feel like we're not putting as high of an emphasis on interpersonal skills. I feel like now it's like everything deeply technical, AI fluid is the most important thing, which makes sense because just kind of how we grew up in.
That's kind of interesting because we're seeing the employers and these larger companies are all kind of saying the opposite thing. Every report I've read recently about the workforce and the future of work and all that has said that like human related skills, so like judgment, creativity, taste, all these human specific skills are the ones that people are having a hard time finding and that what they're looking for in their future employees.
Yeah, yeah. I think we're seeing it modeled in schools right now. Like any test, if they want to actually see the skill of the students, they have to do in person, like an actual skills test. And I think we're seeing the same thing kind of emerge into the job world too, because there's a stat from Gardner. They're predicting that by the end of 2026, how organizations will require this like AI-free skills assessment just to basically understand if people can think clearly by themselves and also have knowledge when AI isn't there.
That's crazy. That's so interesting 'cause as a manager, if you hire people that you think have these like amazing skills, amazing abilities, but then the internet goes down, or someone puts a bug in like a tool that you're using and you can't use that tool for a while, or just Cloudflare goes down. There's so many little finicky things in technology, right? You have to still be able to do the work. You can't rely on this external tool for everything.
So I think really the answer is here that whatever you bring to AI is able to effectively 10x the capabilities that you already have. It's really that deep expertise that you already have that you plug it into AI is going to be the most valuable thing moving forward.
And honestly, I feel like that's really freeing in a way if you think about it. I mean, for like Gen Z and these new generations coming into the workforce nowadays, it's not about chasing, every single new tool and trying to frantically keep up with the pace that is absolutely insane right now. It's genuinely just to go deep on your interpersonal skills, go deep on those human skills, and know one, maybe two tools really, really well. And then AI can multiply on those skills that you have personally developed.